You, Chris here from Fake Sports News, back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to bring you guys a super quick preview of what to expect going into week one of stage 4 of the CDL, that of course being our second to last stage before champs. So looking ahead to day one of our CDL action, I'm sure you're all pretty familiar with this at this point. This has been the format for a little while here on the channel. Took a little bit of a hiatus because I was just busy with work stuff and life stuff. That really hasn't stopped. I was just at an event for work literally the day before yesterday, NFT NYC. So yeah, just been busy, man. But you know, the grind never stops. This grind never stops. That grind never stops. We keep pushing. So looking at our first matchup of Friday, of course, tomorrow my time, today your time as you're watching this, we have the Subliners taking on the new look Mutineers, and the Mutineers just added 2 Real and Major Maniac in place of Reese Vivid and of course Dave Patty. So I'm curious to see how the Mutineers look with literally like a few days practice. They were doing trials to see who fit best in that 4-man slot for their team, and they decided upon Wake, Skies, 2 Real, and of course, Major Maniac. Took me a second. Honestly, I think Mutineers will definitely improve a lot in Search with Major Maniac being added into the fold. 2 Real is a really good player, so they will likely improve in Respawn too. I'm really not too sure what to expect here. I feel like Subliners are trying to win out. They want to qualify for champs, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to go with the New York 3-1. They've looked too good recently to go against. And Mutineers, I think they will play really well with this new team. I think that likely they will have seen something that they really like in the trials from this 4. So there's a good chance that Mutineers do win this matchup. But just given like recent form, I will give it to the Subliners, and I think that's pretty respectable. Looking at our next matchup, we have the Boston Breach taking on Optic Texas, and I think the Breach signed Reese Vivid for Capsule. So if I'm not mistaken, Capsule, I know he's playing Challengers, but I'm pretty sure he got replaced with Vivid. I'll go back and fact check in post-production. So if I was wrong, then something will flash on the screen. But yeah, with that in mind, I see Optic Texas walking away with a pretty clear 3-1 dub. 3-1 out of respect to Breach. They are one of the top 5 teams in terms of our standings right now. I believe they're in 4th place. So no, Ravens will be in 4th place. So they're probably in 5th place. I'll fact check myself in post as well, but I'm pretty sure they're in 5th place. So with that in mind, I think Optic make easy work of the Boston Breach. I'm pretty sure Prolute is still playing in place of Illy. It's not been really like confirmed or denied yet from the Optic side. So I'm not sure what's going on. There's just been a lot of speculation that Prolute is playing in place of Illy. So with that in mind, I think 3-1. I don't think it matters if it's Illy or Prolute in this Optic slot. I think they'll beat the Breach pretty convincingly, no matter who plays tomorrow. Or today, sorry. And then in our last matchup, we have the Los Angeles Guerillas, who also made a team change, taking on the Toronto Ultra. So the Guerillas, they went out and actually picked up 2 players. So the Guerillas went out and picked up Spartan Neptune, and I'm not sure how this helps this team. I think Hook was playing really well pretty much most of the season, but he hasn't been the Hook that we're used to. Definitely not stage 1 Cold War Hook, and definitely not Empire Hook. So, I mean, he's been good, but he hasn't been the type of player where I would say he needs to stay over ASIM. I just don't know. I feel like that team, LA Guerillas, they're just in a weird place. I hope Spart like really helps to speed things up for them a little bit and like helps them to play better. But he was already put into this lineup with 2 of these players and it didn't work. So I'm not really sure how putting him back in the roster instead of Gunless will pan out. I don't know. We'll see. I hope it works out well for them. I mean, they are in contention for champs, and I would like to see them go to champs, but I just don't know. Yeah, I think it's probably a 3-1 for the Ultra. The Ultra are coming off of a really great Toronto home series performance where they got 3rd place. So with that in mind, I think the Ultra win 3-1. But it's just a matter of how much the Guerillas are able to flex in tomorrow's match or today's match. But I think it's a 3-1 for the Ultra, and I think it's pretty comfortable for them. They will likely take respawns, and I think Guerillas will probably surprise them in the S&D. Now, in our first matchup of Saturday, we will see the Battle of EU. The Ravens taking on the Ultra again. And what do you know? Another roster change. We have Jay Giz coming back for Harry. Two players that my buddy Polish coached in EU Challengers last year. Absolute units. Both of them are good players, but I think that Gizmo is definitely more comfortable on this London roster. So I think that his presence will make a big difference in their performance overall. And we'll say that they take into game 5. I think Ultra are going to play them very tight. But I think with the London Royal Ravens having their team back, I think this will really solidify a lot for them and it'll help them to stay in the front running for champs. Now looking at our next matchup at 4:30, we have the LA Guerillas taking on the Subliners. And this is going to be an interesting one because the Subliners, of course, didn't make a change. They've been playing really well. Apart from the major, they just kind of fell apart in the beginning of losers. And the Guerillas, I don't know what to expect with Neptune and, of course, Spark being added into the mix. I think it'll go well, but I don't see them toppling the Subliners. So we'll say it's a 3-2 for the Subliners just because I feel like this new roster, they're really going to surprise us on the LA Guerrilla side. And that's why I have this game 5. I'll zoom in a little bit. Why not? In our next matchup on Saturday, our third match of the day, we have our marquee matchup where we will see Optic Texas take on the Minnesota Rokkr. And because of Optic Texas's strength of just performance, I would say 3-2 in their favor. I think the Rokkr, after having such a disappointing performance at the stage 3 major, of course, losing losers round 1, was it 1 or 2? I think it was round 2, because they lost in winners bracket. Yeah, they lost losers round 2. And I think that they'll be looking to make a statement, but I don't think they'll beat Optic. So that's why I say 5 games. I think they'll push Optic as far as they realistically can. And they do have a chance to beat them because they've been playing really well ever since they made the roster change. Of course, dropping Major Maniac, who's now in Florida, for Havoc. So I'll say 3-2 for Optic Texas, but this could realistically go either way. Tough one. It's a very tough one. So looking at our next matchup, our last matchup of Saturday, we have the Boston Breeze taking on the LA Thieves. The Thieves started picking up steam at the major, but their online play has always been very poor. And then in the case of the Breach, I don't know that adding Vivid to this team and keeping TJ as the flex made much sense. So I hate these kind of trap games. They're both like really hard teams to predict right now because their form has just been all over the place and one made a roster change. Do I go with old reliable? LA Thieves 3-2, old reliable. I'll go with it. If you when in doubt, 3-2 it out for LA Thieves. That's the saying now, I guess. So looking ahead to Sunday's matches, we of course kick things off with the New Look Legion, who added Johnny in place of John. I know it's confusing. And then you have Jimbo. So I'm like Johnny, Jimbo, John. Okay. So we have Johnny in place of John now. That was a terrible joke. But I know Johnny's a really good challengers player. Everyone was expecting him to get to the league at some point. But the Surge are the defending stage 3 champs. Realistically, I'm not gonna say that they lose their first match of stage 4. I think the Surge will win 3-1 over the Legion. I mean, it's the Legion after all. They haven't had a really good season. They have, I believe, 20 CDL points going into champs. Yikes, maybe 30. And then our next matchup, so 3-1 Seattle Surges, close that out is my prediction. And our next matchup at 4:30, we have the Rokkr taking on Mutineers. And yeah, I think it's a 3-1 for the Rokkr. I think that they will be looking to make another statement in this stage. If they can beat Optic, which I think is very possible, they really showed a lot of promise in the last stage, especially going undefeated. I mean, they won all the matches they needed to, and they looked really good. I think they can continue that momentum, and I think they'll definitely beat the Mutineers. But I've said more confident things and been completely embarrassed before. Oh yeah, Faze will be LAG. Sure about that, bro. Did you know Express was in the map pool? Did you know Faze is going to be horrible at the Express? No, I didn't. So things happen, man. Maybe Florida beats the Rokkr and I just look like an absolute idiot and I get smoked. But as it stands, I think Rokkr 3-1 over Florida. And then in our last matchup of the day, we have, you know what time we're on, baby. Even though I was just in New York, I'm still repping Atlanta. Come on now. Faze, LA Thieves. I think it's a 3-0. I really do. I think Faze will be looking to make a statement going into this stage. Like, I don't know how many times they will make the grand final and lose it. I just need them to win one this year, please, 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 please win one. So I think it's a 3-0 over the Thieves. And then giving a quick recap, Friday, I think it's 3-1 Subliners over Mutineers. I think it's 3-1 Optic Texas over Boston Breach. I think it's 3-1 Ultra over Guerillas. And then on Saturday, I think it's 3-2 Ravens over Ultra. I think it's 3-2 Subliners over Guerillas, 3-2 Optic Texas over Minnesota Rokkr, 3-2 LA Thieves over Boston Breach. It's all game fives on my Saturday prediction. So let's hope it pans out because I want to see a lot of COD. I want to see a lot of COD. F that. Sunday, I have the Surge toppling the Legion 3-1, the Rokkr toppling the Mutineers 3-1. And I also have my boys, Atlanta Faze, toppling the LA Thieves with a decisive 3-0. And yeah, I hope it's a great weekend of COD. I hope we don't have a lot of like disappointing matches. I hope they're all really competitive and really fun to watch. I know Saturday's matches will probably be the better ones, but be sure to watch all weekend if you can. CDL is always entertaining. So yeah, guys, I'll just about wrap it up for me. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment down below. It helps get the engagement up, helps more people find the channel. And if you haven't, be sure to hit that subscribe button, click that bell, ding that thing, wake me up. You know, I'll wake up if I hear the bell. So yeah, maybe you'll wake me up in the middle of the night. Yeah, so that'll just about wrap it up for me, guys. I'm still super tired from this event. Hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night, wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. Stay safe, enjoy the COD, and keep grinding. And once again, this is Christian Fake Sports News, and I'm signing off. Peace.